Okay. Can you hear me out there? Hi, IAAH Radio Plus. I hope you're tuning in. How you doing this Saturday? Happy Saturday. Hello, my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing this channel. All right. Can you hear me? I want to start when this video starts going through. Catch me every Saturday here on YouTube and IAAH Radio Plus for Know Your Truth Real Talk. So you can hear me? Okay. It's great to have you all out there, all you listeners and those watching. Thank you for joining me again for another edition of Know Your Truth Real Talk. And so this week's edition here, it's a balmy 88 or 89 degrees out here. It's really beautiful. I can't wait to get out. But for now, this is great. Did you get your popcorn? I hope you all got your popcorn because it's going to be popping. Anyway, so thanks for joining me again this week, Saturday live. Last week I had an event. I couldn't do so. I couldn't show up like I want to. So now that I'm here, thank you for joining me on another edition of Know Your Truth Real Talk. All right. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you like the content in this channel, subscribe to it. You don't have to pay for it. Check me out on IAAH Radio Plus Radio. Tune in if you can't watch here on YouTube. So let's talk about this title this week. You ever had situations where you were labeled your whole life? I know, because everyone is, but this is what this content is about this week. I've noticed at work, we all work in professionals. I'm in a white collar position, so there's blue collars, and that's also labeling. And I didn't even put that in this show contents, believe it or not. But since I work in the white collar industry, the label there is everyone's worried about your title. They don't even say, hi, how are you? It's, what's your title? What department you work in? Instead of who are you, how you doing, Judge Desire for Knowledge. No, what you do here is always the thing, not who are you, So basically I decided to do a show on it because it's really important that we get it. And why? Why is it that we are labeled everywhere and with everything? And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean right now. So who gave you that title? Beyond the label, your title isn't your identity. Don't forget that. Nope, mi amores. Your title is not your identity. So today's topic of why society labels people and why we allow it to define us. That's what we need to find out today on this channel with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, the host with the most. And I don't say that to be like, I'm not that kind of person show off is. I say the host with the most for a reason, because if you check my channels, I do grilling with Judge Desire for Knowledge. I'm out and about, and I'm out and about travels is when I'm in destination traveling, which coming up soon. But either way, if you go, I have a few things going on there. I also have court affairs every last Saturday of the month. Go check that out. Last week was really hot. The last Saturday of the month was good. All right, so getting back to the subject. That's why I call myself the host with the most. I put a pat on my own back, but I'm not show offish like that. I just say it because it's real. It's true. I do a lot more than what I do. A lot of people do on their channels. So go check those things out that I do. Hopefully you'll enjoy the grilling part. I got to get back to grilling real soon. I've just been so busy working and getting this content and working and events. So I can't wait to get back to grilling. It'll be a surprise. I'm not going to tell you when. All right. Just go check that out on my channel. And before someone hears your voice, right, they're already decided who you are. That's why I was saying when I started this show that my job and a lot of employments that we're in, the society believes that's who you are. For instance, why do people put down people that work in Walmarts or other areas? We don't know, right? But that's labeling. That's a part of the labeling system. If you work there, you can't be much. If you work there, you don't have the skills. And you know what I came to find out? You probably do have the skills and you choose to work there. That's what you like to do. So it took me time to understand that. But I wasn't labeling. I was analyzing. I was saying, Why do people want to work in positions like that when they can do better for themselves? But it's not about that. I didn't want to label people, but we are labeling them. Maybe they love the job they're in and they can do better, but choose, you know what? I like it here. And it is true. What makes you happy is better than getting a paycheck, right or wrong. How many people don't like their jobs where they are or their paycheck, one or the other? And we still there. So that goes to say, why label other people because they may enjoy where they're working and they love it just because that's what they want to do. So the next time that we judge other people on labels of that format, let's just say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you because I know you're there because you like what you do. Not everybody does, but you know, some of us, we really do like where we are. Before someone hears your voice, yeah, they've already decided who you are, right? People set your skin color. They see your skin color. They know who you are already. They see your clothes, your car, your zip code, your job, your education, your accent, your religion, your followers. Yeah, even your paycheck. So when that happens, you got to ask yourself, wait a minute. Why are you so concerned with seeing, and why does it really matter? And when in seconds after finding out all these things, they've created an entire story about you. But there's this one question. Here's the question. How many people actually know you? Yeah. How many people actually know you? That's what the question is. So on this episode of Know Your Truth, Real Talk, we're pulling back the curtains on society additions to labels. And we're going to start off with the labels that we're given at birth, because I decided, yeah, that's a good point right there to show the birth of people and what happens. And we don't even notice that we're doing it actually. Before a child even speaks, people ask, boy or girl, black or white, rich or poor, American or immigrant, all right? Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or atheist, public school or private school. You know, that's basics. That's what society does. The labeling starts immediately as soon as we're born. When society builds expectations around those labels, they always do. That's when they do it. That's when society builds expectation around the labels. For example, here's a scenario. Two babies are born. One baby is in a wealthy hospital and the other one is in the hood. 20 years later, society says one is successful, the other is called a statistic. I mean, it's the norm. And we don't even see that we're being labeled out here. Can I get an amen? Neither baby choose where they were born, right? They didn't choose this. Yet both wear labels they never asked for. I mean, they were just being born into the world and automatically, da-da, we're already labeling them. Isn't that something? Make that make sense. Now, how about the race label? Let's go there. One person walks into a store, another person walks into the same store, different race, okay? We've all been through this. Some of us, most of us, you know who you are. Same clothes, same age, yet one gets greeted and the other gets followed. Haven't we been there, some of us, right? Nothing changed though, except perception. So those perceptions are what's the problem here. The perceptions of the labeling. Someone said amen. Thank you for joining Judge Desire for Knowledge TV Talk Radio. All right, so basically this is what I'm trying to say. Stereotypes are created by society and people that create them based on their community and as an individual. They don't know you though, right? Let's talk about the money labeling, all right? Money label. Why money change respect for each other? Why? Why does it change respect? All right, the money labeling part. Let's talk about it. A millionaire speaks, people listen, right? A janitor says the exact same thing to people and people ignore it. What's the difference here? Did wisdom change or just the paycheck? So that's when you have to think, oh, okay, yeah, we got to think more deeply on this and seeing what the heck is the difference, really. Does that change the individual, really? So for humor, I'm just going to say, I remember this happening when I was out and about. But someone driving a luxury car and everybody assumes they're successful, which it's not always it's not always true. All right. Meanwhile, the car payment is late. The credit cards are maxed out. Now, these are the people driving luxury cars. Don't assume everything. The label is not who that person is. You can have people that drive, everybody assumes they're successful. Meanwhile, the car payment is due, the credit cards are maxed out, and they're eating ramen noodles every night. I mean, I myself witness, and it's not making fun, but why buy a car you can't afford? Labeling. First of all, I've seen a Mercedes Benz, my spouse and it parked into the gas station. The guy had a beautiful car. It was one of the top lines of Mercedes Benz. Come to think about it, we saw this is back when gas was about $1.99, I believe, a few years ago, a long time ago, not too long, but yeah, $1.99. And the guy put $5. We don't know if that's his last $5 or he just needed $5, but that's all he put in there. And first and foremost, I looked at was, well, this must be a successful person, but why is he only filling with $5? Now, that's not to laugh at, but this is how we label people because of what they drive, where they live, and things like that. And we need to start acknowledging that that's not who they are. All right, let's talk about job titles because I know we have that where I work. And we got those job title personalities to go along with it. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a CEO. I'm a judge. I'm unemployed. All right. So notice how one title earns applause, another earns sympathy or judgment because someone's not unemployed. So now we're judging that person. You don't know who he came from, where he was before that, but we assume, we make assumptions. But neither of these things tell you who that person really is, right? So we skip the facts and we just look at labeling. Another scenario I wanted to give is a retired executive loses his job or her job, right? Within months, they're depressed. Why? Why? Okay. Because society taught us you are your title instead of you had a title. So for instance, you lose your job, you're no longer feeling like you're that person anymore when it was just a title. It was not who you are. So we have to move past these things and understand. And we have the same thing going on in social media, don't we? Social media labels, let's talk about that. Followers, likes, things like that. Blue check marks we use, verifications, influencer, creator, viral, these things. These are labels. People now measure worth by numbers, okay? Numbers. Who would have thought that makes the person? I can't. And we're not talking about people that actually deserve those numbers either. You look at some people's content and you wonder how dare they get on. I mean, what are they doing? Okay? But they have the followers. Well, people now measure worth by numbers, of course. A person with wisdom gets ignored. Good content gets ignored all the time. I've seen a few good content out there, including mine, and you'll get ignored. I don't care about that. I'm going to come out with my message every week that I can, God willingly, and that's good for me. Some people can't handle it, though. I guess because they're getting paid for it. They're not really in there like me just because you want to get that message out to the public. Other people, they're doing it for other reasons, you know. So this is what happens when you do. Someone usually people that measure worth by numbers is a person with wisdom gets ignored, and then you got that person, someone dancing and shaking their booty for 15 seconds gets millions of views. That's what I meant to say. And am I right or wrong? Okay, they bring nothing to the table but a body slab. And I'm wondering what for? Go to the gym, shake it there. Lose the weight, get in shape. Why in national TV, YouTube? Why on Instagram? Why on TikTok? But, you know, it is what it is. So we use those labels because we see people that make sense not getting what's required of them. The content is great. And then you got the content that's not so great. But people nowadays, unfortunately, like dumb down. I mean, what can I say? And it's okay. Those people are getting paid for you to be stupid with them. But, basically, I don't waste my time on social media. If it doesn't make sense and it's not doing anything for me and it's not bringing people together, growth and things like that, there's no sense in me wasting my time. Yeah, I don't have time for jokes and okey dokes. But I do like a little bit of entertainment, but I do not want booty in my face, whether it's a male or female. I mean, what are you bringing to the table? Nothing. But this is how we get labeled as influencers, as content creators, digital creators, whatever you are. The titles I just you go viral, this and that. These labeling things is the reason why some people who do get a lot, and then all of a sudden it's gone, they lose it. It's all about the label. So we got to be very careful in how how does that make a person feel inside. Like for me, I'm good. It's normal, up, down, all around. If I don't, I don't. I do, I do. I'll bring the message anyway. I love it. I'll build the content that I know is needed out here because we see so much stuff that's not helping people. So I prefer to do the opposite of that. And so we're going to always have people out there that's going to do the total opposite of giving out good information. And that's not just labeling, but you can tell by the followers, subscriptions, the subscribers, and other details that will say, take a look at the next video is what I'm going to say right now. The next video you watch on YouTube, TikTok, and take a look at the followers or the subscribers or those that liked. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Did it make sense to you to watch that video? Did you get anything out of it is what we should be asking ourselves. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be entertained every now and then, but stupidity all day long. I know people that they just watch stupidity all day long. And at some point, it's going to make us stupid. So be careful how long you stay there. All right. So how about that relationship labels? All right. You know that. I remember hearing this when I was young. A lot of elderly people, they expect you to have a boyfriend, a husband, a marriage, or children by now and stuff like that. I used to hear them say, oh, girl, not to me because I was a youngster. I think they still do that. You not married yet? And things like that. So let's talk about the relationship labels. Single, what's wrong with you? If you're single, they ask what's wrong with you. If you're married, you must be happy. Doesn't mean every marriage is happy. Most of them might be. But divorce, you failed. Things like that. These are the labels, okay? Remember what this topic is about today. No children, you're selfish. Too many children, woof, you're irresponsible. Can you pay for them? I mean, these are the labels that we get. Society always has an opinion of everything. Definitely everything in life is going to be opinionated. So we still come back to the point of what does that say about you, though? Labeling is not who you really are. So don't get labeled. Don't allow yourself to be labeled. We try our best not to be labeled, but we will be. Let me put it this way. Don't take the labeling serious. You know who you are is what I'm going to say. But let's say I'm going to bring in another scenario, okay? A woman is single at 40. People whisper, nobody wanted her? In reality, she walked away from an unhealthy relationship. She values peace. There's people like that. The label didn't tell the story. That's what I'm trying to say here. The label doesn't tell the story. So be very careful of what you hear from people or see. Don't label others. You won't be labeled. Let's talk about the neighborhood labels. Oh boy, remember this one? Everybody gets this one. Oh, you live there? Immediately people create assumptions. That's exactly what labeling is. And the assumptions is poor, dangerous, uneducated, she will soon be in prison, that type of thing. Yet some of the hardest working families live there, right or wrong. Likewise, living in an expensive neighborhood doesn't automatically mean someone is kind, honest, or financially secure either. So watch it when you think oh, that person lives in upper middle class or middle class, and that person lives in the ghetto. You don't know what the reasons are. That doesn't make the person. Don't forget that that does not, the labels do not make you. So no matter where you live, not everyone should be labeled for that poor, uneducated, or that every person that lives in a beautiful mansion or everything is actually kind and financially secure. So some of these $1 million homes or more, multi-million dollar homes, I should say, because everyone has a $1 million home now in New York anyway. Everyone's house is priced at that. So multi-million dollar homes are being forfeited. They're being foreclosed. People don't have the money for it, but you believed because they had it that they're well off and financially well. That's not true with everyone. The ones that are, you'll know, and the ones that aren't, eventually you'll see it. So we shouldn't label neighborhoods and how you live in the neighborhood, what you have going on. Some people like a modest home. They don't want to buy a mansion. Some people like living around their own people. If it's called the ghetto, okay, well, that's what they like. Who are we to judge them? I used to be like, why would you want to live there? I don't do that anymore because you know what? It's not my business. I've seen working, hardworking, middle class people live in the ghettos, urban areas, and I ask why? Why don't you own a home? Why don't you do that? It's not for me to do that, first and foremost, because maybe they don't want responsibilities like that. Maybe they don't feel like they need to do that. Maybe they like who they are and where they are. And we have to stop thinking that they should want more. If that's more for them, then who are we to judge that, right? All right, so let's talk about the invisible labels, huh? Yeah, these are the labels that a person says in their head, either about themselves or about others. Too loud, too quiet, too emotional, too independent, too educated. You've heard that before. Too ambitious, too attractive. Ugh, I can't stand that person, right? Too old, you be 40, too old, too black, too white, too religious, not religious enough. You know, it just keeps going on, these labels. Society is constantly creating categories. So we live through those categories and we act like we accept it. Have you ever been judged before? Someone even learned your name? I mean, I have. Most people will answer this as a yes, right or wrong. You have ever been judged before? Someone even learned your name? Yes, I have, and I'm sure millions of people have. And that's what's sad. Like, you'll get the judgment, someone will look at your skin tone or your hair, your eyebrows. I don't know. It's just that they label you as soon as they see you, some people. And basically, this is judging someone based on the cover and not who they really are. But the hard hitting truth here, people, is people often spend years trying to prove they are more than a label society gave them. Yeah, that's the hard hitting truth. They often are. But freedom begins when you stop asking for permission to define yourself. Once you stop asking permission, and you don't even know you're doing it, to define yourself, you're gonna be fine, because basically what society says about you is not who you are. Okay, it's what the assumption they have of you, but not who you really are. So as a sidebar closing, I just wanted to add that your race is a part of your story, but not your entire story. Don't forget that. Your income is a circumstance, not your value. Don't forget that. Your title may open a door, but it doesn't define your character. Don't don't ever forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Your past may explain where you've been, but it doesn't decide where your destination is. So always remember that, okay? The greatest person isn't always made of steel. I know I thought I was made of steel at one point. I was like, okay, I could get through this. And that's good. That's good that we're strong in our own power. But at the same time, we're not made of steel. And sometimes it's the label someone placed on you and the one you accepted as truth. So be wary of that, because a lot of people have been spoken over as little children, that you're never going to be anything, you're never going to turn out to do anything well, this isn't for you, college isn't for you, you should go to trade school, you're not educated enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have enough money, you didn't come up in money. Even in the court, the decisions are based on their background sometimes. Not all the time, don't quote me, but we've seen it where, oh, well, his background states that he should be okay, or her background states that she comes from here, the likelihood of that changing, blah, blah, blah. And we know the rest because I'm not going to do that here because I've seen it myself and it shouldn't be based on labels. But yeah, for instance, here's another one, foster children. Wow, what's the stats on that one? Like none of them can actually become someone. None of them can actually be a person in society with influence. Let's stop because there's a lot of them that can't. So those type of labels people have lived with from childhood to adulthood to senior citizenhood. And sometimes they never get over it. And those that do, thank God. But the labeling is placed on you and you have accepted it as truth. When you stop accepting it as being true, you have moved forward and upward. You have now empowered yourself to get out of the labeling that was given to you. Opinions are like a-holes. Okay, everybody has one, and sometimes they stink. How would I know you would say that here? Truth be said, but anyway, don't let society tell you who you are. Know your truth, live your truth, all right? And never allow a label to become your identity. I know I'm not. So until the next time, this is Know Your Truth Real Talk, all right? Where we challenge assumptions, question perceptions, and have the conversations that matter. Now that's real talk. I was glad having you guys here today. Like, share, and subscribe. Come see me next Saturday. I may have an event. If I do go, I will post a videotape up there for you guys. Have a great Saturday. Stay safe, stay blessed, and most of all, stay with self-love. Great show. Thank you. Self-love and self-care and empowerment. Take care of you. Love you first before you could go out there and love anyone else, because you won't be able to, believe me. Bringing the truth and nothing but the truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, your host, Josiah Finale, is now adjourned. I might add this now. I forgot to tell you guys, come watch me every Saturday at 3, as well as tuning in here on IAAH Radio Plus. Thank you, CEO 5 a.m., all the great DJs out there. Go check their music out on IAAH Radio and IAH Radio Plus, where you get on that channel all the genres. If you want just It's All About House, IAAH Radio is the one to go to. Download the app and go check them out. And the great DJs there, DJ Buggin' Hard, he's on there as well, Tuesdays. And you can check him, hit him up on, is he still on Facebook? No, right? Okay. Twitch and Mixcloud. All right. I will see you next week, mi amores. Blessings to you all. Thanks for watching this show. See you then.